So if you were trying to buy a home over the last 6, 18, 24 months, you probably ran into quite a few roadblocks. Or maybe you did not even take it at bat because you thought there's no way you could possibly compete in that market. Well, some good news for you, and I'm sure you're aware, things have changed. The influx of inventory has gone from a crazy seller's market, and I don't really want to say a buyer's market yet, but definitely a balanced market. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the top places you need to look at buying now since prices in Phoenix, Arizona have dropped. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rich Brecklin, your Arizona real estate agent with Real Broker, and this is Arizona Life. So to kick it off, where should you look at buying? Now, obviously, and if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I love Gilbert, Arizona, and that is where I'm going to kick off number one. I'm going to go over five communities, 5 cities, and then also touch on a neighborhood in each, which I think you need to explore for various reasons. Now, looking at Gilbert, so the average monthly sales price is down to $681 from $715 a month ago and $731 last quarter. Now, inventory in Gilbert has almost doubled from last quarter and more than doubled from a year ago. Now, one of my favorite neighborhoods in Gilbert is Power Ranch. So Gilbert as a whole, I think, again, if you've followed me for any length of time, you'll know I love Gilbert. I mean, that's why we chose to call Gilbert home. But Gilbert's in the Southeast Valley. It's 30 minutes or so from Phoenix, from the airport. But we love Gilbert for what it is for our family and for us, and why we chose to call Gilbert home. But on average for Phoenix Metro, for the Valley, it's a little bit higher price. I want to say it's up there. It's not up there with Scottsdale and Paradise Valley by any means, but it's higher than average in some spots in the West Valley. But Gilbert's great, and I had a lot of clients and friends and people looking to move here, but they were kind of shocked by what the prices were at the time from what Gilbert had previously been. So it exploded, just like like everywhere. But looking at Gilbert as a whole, and we look here, there are some great communities in Gilbert, and depending on what you want to spend. Yeah, if you want to spend 1.3, 1.4, you can go above that. But going into some of these average prices in Gilbert, you can find some great properties to call home. So this is in Trilogy. I really want to touch base though into Power Ranch. So again, if you've seen some other videos, I love Power Ranch. We live in Power Ranch. Power Ranch, the average list right now is 600, median's 550, and we're seeing a lot of price reduction. So in my neighborhood, they listed one around 900 in July. They dropped it to 850. That home is now $800,000. January through May in Power Ranch, the average sold was 598. The median was 555. Well, you might ask yourself, but that's the same as where it is now. Well, the numbers I just showed or talked about, those are what people are asking for their home. The numbers that sold, that's what it ended up at. And it ended up selling above list price. So, yes, some homes are still selling above list in Gilbert and in Power Ranch, but the average and the median current prices are below what they originally were listed at. So we're seeing a lot more price reductions. And the current days on market right now is 50. At one point, there were only, 5 homes or so for sale in Power Ranch. But right now, there are, it says 75 here, so give or take 50 to 75. So you have a lot more options when it comes to, where you want to go in Power Ranch. So check it out on my website after this video and see if there's something that you like. But Power Ranch and in Gilbert, if you're not looking for Power Ranch, or maybe looking for 55 plus, they have that in Power Ranch also. But a lot more options than what there was once before. Now we are going to jet over to the West Valley in Buckeye. Now I've covered Buckeye in a prior video, but it doesn't have a huge amount of the change that Gilbert had when it comes to the monthly average. But the monthly average and median compared to last month are both down. Inventory in Buckeye is up from what it was last month. So that's good, right, for a buyer, not just to bring prices down, but just to give you more options. However, the big number I like to see is twice as many homes for sale currently in Buckeye than there was a year ago. So right now we're seeing 4.4 months of supply of homes in Buckeye, which means if no other homes got listed in Buckeye, it would take 4.4 months for all of the homes to sell. Now, just for some context, we were having around 0.5 to 0.8 months supply of inventory in Phoenix Metro. So 4.4 is a pretty large number. It's on the higher end of inventory month supply in the metro area. And 61% of homes listed in Buckeye sell, which is crazy because that number was 89% a year ago. So that means out of all the homes that sell or get listed, only 61% are actually going to sell. So if I'm looking at this from a buyer's perspective, that's a huge opportunity. One, get a home for a great price. With all the inventory, you have more options. And not just a great price, but I like to build in concessions. We're all aware of the increase in rates, so that is where getting concessions are huge. Maybe the seller truly can't afford to drop the price. Now, depending on when they bought it, most likely they have a good amount of equity, but maybe they need that money to buy. But where you're gonna make it up as a buyer is it will be more impactful for you to get a $10,000 seller credit than it would to get $10,000 off the list price if your lender knows what they're doing. So my lender and I, we've partnered on a lot of deals like this where we use that concession and we'll buy down the rate, we'll pay off PMI, depending on how it works for that buyer. But that is typically more impactful on the monthly payment and the life of the loan versus just buying it at a lower price. Now, one of my favorite my neighborhoods that I love in Buckeye, and that is Verrado. Now, if you've ever been to Buckeye, ever been to Verrado, the Verrado stairs, really cool spot to hike up, great views. It's not a very hard hike. I still wouldn't recommend doing it when it's 110, but for context, I did it in the spring wearing some flip-flops and not dressed for hiking, but my clients, they drugged me up there, so we went. But in Verrado, it's 150 or so homes for sale, give or take. So right now in Verrado, the average list price is $712,000 and the median is $625,000. Now, also on average, those prices have been reduced from their original list price. Now, in January through May, the average sold was $637,000 and median was $605,000, and both of those were over list, depending on the median and the average. So you might look at that like, well, that's below where we're at now. Well, where we're at now are what people are wanting to get, not what it actually ended up at. And back then you also had a lot more competition. Almost 65% of homes were getting multiple offers selling for above list. But now we're not having to compete with that number, and you have a lot more power. Like I said, using sellers' concessions to buy down rate and put yourself in a good spot is going to be really where people stand out. But the homes in Verrado I love the neighborhood, I love the community there, the pool, the parks, just being in the West Valley with a lot to take in over in Verrado. So we love it. Next, we're going to go to the neighboring town of Goodyear. Now, one thing that really stood out to me about Goodyear, now if you've ever been to Goodyear, you know it is named after the Goodyear Tire Company. You have spring training park there. And so it's a really cool spot to go. Check out a video I did on Goodyear where I was able to actually get inside the baseball field, walk around. That was really cool. Anyhow, average sales price from Goodyear is down $30,000 from a month ago and $40,000 from last quarter. Now, on average, to buy a home in Goodyear, right now they're listed at around $520,000. So $520,000. So we can take a look right here at this one. Beautiful home. There's the pool there, and this is in Estrella. So Estrella Mountain Ranch is one of the more popular, master plan communities in Goodyear. It is huge. I love it there. I've done some other tours of, people call it EMR for short, but Estrella Mountain Ranch. There are more homes for sale now than what we were used to seeing in Estrella Mountain Ranch. So when I had clients looking to move there, it was tough to find them one. And then we did. There were typically 5, 10 other people looking at that same property. Now in EMR, Average right now 617, 540 median, and around 8% of the price on that is an 8% reduction from that original price. So they're reducing at a higher rate than I'm seeing across some of these other areas, which are around 5% reduction from the original. And these are homes that are still for sale, so they haven't even sold that. So it'll be interesting to see as the months and weeks go on what the actual sold price to original list price is if it keeps falling. And 60 days on market is what we're seeing right now for homes that are active for sale. Again, this is not something most had to deal with, especially we're seeing a lot of agents get out of the business. They got into the business during the pandemic, and now things have changed and they don't know how to react and how to best advise their sellers. When they're used to selling homes in 20 to 24 days, and now the average right now of homes that are listed, specifically in EMR, is 60 days, then it takes some skills to get those properties sold. Next, we're gonna head over to Queen Creek. So head to the map with me. So Queen Creek, if you don't know where it is outside of Gilbert, bordering also Santan Valley. So there'll be some areas that are a Queen Creek address, sometimes the Santan Valley address. It is, I love Queen Creek. It is up and coming, it is blown up. It is going to be an area where if people are getting into, I expect the property values to rise. But for now, the monthly sales price is $12,000 less than a month ago, and there's currently 4.5 months of inventory in Queen Creek. And one of my favorite neighborhoods in Queen Creek, and also has a Santan Valley address sometimes, is Encantera. It features the country club, 18-hole Tom Lehman designed golf course, a social center, fitness center, pool, spa, art studio, outdoor sports complex. There's a ton at Encantera. At Encantera, from January through May, the average price was $715, sold $699, median days on market was 21. Now the current average list price, this isn't sold, this is just what people are hoping to get, is $748 and a $724 median, and right now those homes have been on the market for an average of 53 days. So really it did not grow that much, and these homes still have not sold. So they're still trying to sell these properties that are asking that much money. But Encantera has some gorgeous, gorgeous properties. So check this one out. It's $1.3 million. Again, you don't have to spend $1.3 million, but if you're looking for this property out here and the views, it is something I would definitely check out. And we're heading to Scottsdale next. So Scottsdale, I think when a lot of people think of moving to Phoenix, they think Scottsdale. I know when we did, everyone's like, "Oh, you live in Scottsdale?" Like, no, we don't live in Scottsdale. But at least at least Scottsdale is in Arizona. So in Scottsdale, $10,000 less for a sales price than it was a month ago. And get this, a little over $100,000 less than homes were selling last quarter. Right now, the median is $950,000 in the last month for home sales, and last quarter, that number was $1.1 million. So that's where we're really seeing the change in markets like Scottsdale. Now in Paradise Valley, where the median is over $3 million, that market honestly is still strong. So I'm sure a lot of people are expecting one of the highest price, most expensive areas in the country to fall fast. That still has a higher demand than some of the other areas, but the homes in Paradise Valley are out of this world. But we're not talking about Paradise Valley, we're talking about Scottsdale. And one of my favorite areas in Scottsdale, and we'll take a look here, and that is McCormick Ranch. Now, keeping in discussion with that median price of $950, look here at this one that is listed for $985. So with the median in Scottsdale being around $950, let's head to my favorite neighborhood, and that is McCormick Ranch. So McCormick Ranch, it's kind of an upscale area, has golf courses, kind of the resort feeling, and it's huge. It's one of the top master plan communities in the country of its kind. So this one in McCormick Ranch is $950,000, and it's gorgeous. So the location is key, and that is why people are moving here. And this property on Via Campo, again, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,200 square feet. And as you can see, if you're looking to buy within the median price, you can still be in one of the top master plan communities in Scottsdale, being McCormick Ranch. Now, maybe you don't have a budget and you want to see, what exactly can I get? I'm looking for top dollar, not necessarily top dollar, but top quality home, whatever that looks like. And well, good thing, because you can have it. So McCormick Ranch, they go well above the $1 million mark. If you were in the 2s, 3s, you can find some beautiful homes there in Scottsdale. But whatever it is you're looking for, if none of these areas are on your list of where you want to move, let me know. I'll get some info, get the research done for you. Rich Brecklin, Real Broker Arizona Life. Check out these next videos, and I'll see you on the next one.